Alright, hey guys, Pax here, welcome back to another Pokemon Pocket video. As the title states, the trailer for the new booster pack has been revealed, and revealed a little bit earlier than usual, but nevertheless, we got the official trailer right here. The official Korean Pokemon account ended up releasing this relatively early, so we did get a first glimpse of this. Currently, the English version hasn't released yet, but nevertheless, we're going to be going over all the cards that were displayed in this trailer. But first, I'm just going to play the trailer in its entirety, and yeah, here we go. And yeah, that was the trailer coming out August 28th, and looking at it, very promising. Huge dub if you are a fan of the legendary dogs. And yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna get right into the cards. These translations were given by Google Translate, so it's a little bit finicky, but even then, I feel like the translations look pretty accurate to what the English text will be. But yeah, first card we're gonna be going over is Suicune EX, HP 140. Yeah, basic, of course. Characteristic / ability, the Heartbeat of Legend. At the end of your turn, if this Pokemon is on the battlefield, draw one card from your deck. You're gonna see a couple more cards share a very similar ability, so this is pretty good, essentially making it kind of like, in a way, somewhat similar to Sylveon EX, just getting as much cards as possible. Has one attack, requires 2 energy, Crystal Waltz, deal 20 damage to each other's bench Pokemon. On paper, that sounds horrible, but this might be a little translation error. I'm pretty sure it means basically deal 20 damage for each bench Pokemon each player has. So 6 in total. Somewhat, I feel like this is very similar to Pikachu EX, but for Pikachu EX, it kind of relies on your bench. This card relies heavily on both players' bench getting full, so you can do up to 120. So let's say like, yeah, 6 Pokemon are on the field in your benches. 6 times 20, 120. Which is pretty good, given that it only requires 2 energy, but it's very situational. I feel like this is very situational. Ideally, you're probably most likely going to do, depending on your opponent's deck, you're probably going to do around like, what, 80 to 100 damage. It really depends, again, on your opponent. If your opponent's using something like a Pikachu EX deck, where they want to get their bench filled, it's very risky even still, because, I mean, keep in mind, this guy is water, so he is weak to lightning. But also, yeah, 140, so somewhat frail for an EX. But what's pretty good, I feel like this guy is pretty good because of his ability, so I feel like you could very much just have him in your bench just gaining cards. We shall see in a couple months how this guy will synergize with Mega Gyarados EX, because keep in mind, Mega Gyarados is coming out sometime soon. Currently we don't really know, but there's a high probability that it will come out at the end of October, pretty much marking the 1st year anniversary of the game. So yeah, that's Suicune. Very interesting 2 energy retreat. Next card we have is Raikou. Yeah, Raikou, whatever you want to call him. Yep, EX, HP 130. Yeah, same ability as you can see. Yeah, at the end of your turn, if this Pokemon is on the battlefield, draw one of your core cards, aka core as in most likely from your deck. Voltage Bullet, 60 damage, 2 energy yet again. Also deals 10 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So yeah, looking at this, I feel like when it comes to the longevity of this card, its ability will probably like outlast its usefulness. Like attack-wise, damage-wise, 60 damage for 2 energy. Nothing that crazy, and again, keep in mind, only HP 130, so pretty frail overall. But the ability is what makes it good. So yeah, this guy is buffing pretty much lightning in general. Pretty nice. Lightning, fire, and water just getting so much buffs. Like last booster pack, we got a bunch of baby Pokemon just buffing lightning, and yeah, we'll get more into that because water is also getting a buff, which is pretty good. Given that the water archetype is kind of struggling, and I feel like Mega Gyarados definitely really does need that. But yeah, very similar to this guy. In my opinion, this guy has more potential. This guy, I mean, energy-wise, I feel like you could definitely invest into like other EXs. I feel like Pikachu EX does a lot better, in my opinion. Like, yes, this guy only does 60, Pikachu can do 90. Same energy as well, so yeah, that's, I feel like the abilities is going to be huge. Next card is Entei EX, HP 140. Similar ability, yet again, Heartbeat of Legend. Yeah, enough said. Blaze Beat, 2 energy also. 60 damage plus 60 more additional damage if you have 2 more fire energy attached. So 4 energy is 120. Yeah, looking at it yet again, it doesn't look that impressive. We shall see. I mean, they can definitely add. I very much can see them adding dog supports, like the legendary dog support card for them. Because just looking at previous mini booster sets, I mean, we got like Arceus supports, extra dimensional crisis. We had Ultra Beast supports. So yeah, also Eevee supports. Yeah. So there's kind of a trend here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do give kind of like a little buff to these 3 legendary dogs. But yeah, those are the 3 dogs. In my opinion, again, Suicune's probably the best. Second best is probably Entei, just from the looks of this. Third best, of course, Raikou. But looking at them, they very much feel like supports. They feel like supporting Pokemon, just like supporting the archetype. But we shall see. Again, support cards, item cards, whatever they add, could help these cards out in the long run. And yeah, next card, we're just breezing through this. I can't read Korean, so I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure it says something peddler. According to Google Translation, this is a peddler. Yep, she totally looks like a peddler. I don't remember her from the games or if she's a character in the games, but yeah, it looks like a kind of an NPC. But this is what the supporter card does. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and take all of the Pokemon items from them. Return the remaining cards to the deck. Interesting. So this is pretty good. I feel like this card, currently in the meta, I mean, you might not see that much prominence with this, but as the game goes by and they add more very broken item cards, I can very much see this this gal being super viable. But currently, I mean, you can still see some viability. I mean, like if you're trying to get like a rare candy, you can very much just use this supporter card to try to get that rare candy. And if you don't have it, then that's kind of tough luck. But depending on what stage you are in the game, looking at your top 4 cards and getting an item card could win you the battle. Because like just imagine like a scenario where like you're running this card as well as Sylvan EXs. Professor's research, towards the middle of the game, depending on your RNG, you should have around like 4 to 5 cards left. You could just use this, and if you have super bad RNG and just can't get that rare candy that you need, you can just use this and there's a high chance that you will get that rare candy. So yeah, this is pretty cool altogether. So yeah, I very much can see decks, instead of running Iono, you can just run this card. Again, as the time goes by, as they add more broken item cards, I feel like this will be used a lot more. Like if you think about it, Dawn, Elemental Switch, I'm just gonna pull it up right here if you guys don't know. You guys probably know, but Elemental Switch is pretty much just this is like a better Dawn for these 3 types. So if they add cards like this for niches that are like super good, I feel like this card will get a lot more value. But yeah, next card we have is Mantike. But looking at the trailer, let's just pull it up. So Mantike, somewhere, yeah, this card right here. Oh crap. Baby Pokemon, as you can see, HP 30. And looking at its ability right here, yeah. Sends 1 energy from your energy zone and attaches it to a basic Pokemon on your bench. A slight translation error. I'm pretty sure this basically states that you send 1 water energy. Because, I mean, looking at the other types, we have similar versions of this type of card in other color archetypes. So Pichu, yeah, take a lightning energy. Magby is pulling him up. Fire, of course. So it makes sense that this guy is going to work for water. And this is pretty good. Again, another water support. Supporting the return of Gyarados. Gyarados coming back into the meta, just like building the hype slowly but surely. I did state before that it was kind of weird that they announced the Mega. They announced a booster set 2 months in advance. I feel like that kind of undermines this booster pack as well as the next one for the following month. But I feel like it does build a little bit of anticipation depending, especially if they add very broken supporter cards or Pokemon in these 2 packs. And as you can see right here, yeah, Gyarados EX is getting water support on top of Suicune. So yes, this is looking very promising for Gyarados. Hopefully they keep on doing this to make water a lot more meta relevant. I feel that's going to piss off a lot of people though, depending on how things go. Because I mean, Misty could just win you the game turn 1, depending on RNG. But next 2 cards we have is, oh god, I forgot this Pokemon's name. Stunfisk, there we go. I remember using him in Pokemon Pocket. HP 90, yeah, straightforward. Tingling, 50 damage, interesting. Kokori, sure. Deal damage to the opponent's battle Pokemon or active Pokemon equal to the damage this Pokemon is receiving. So I feel like this guy is very similar to Regigigas. Let's pull him up. So this attack does more damage equal to the damage this Pokemon has on it. From the looks of it, I feel like this card is like that, but for basic. Keep in mind, this guy does evolve in Donphan. So let's say your opponent's Pokemon does like 60 damage. This guy's doing 60 to your opponent's active, which is pretty good. But again, this guy is a basic, keep in mind. So you eventually want to evolve him. With that being said, they might add another Donphan for this, because usually when they add basic Pokemons, they also include pretty much the whole evolution line. So yeah, since there's a Donphan, most likely there's going to be a Donphan EX. which is very interesting because we already have a Donphan EX, if you guys don't know. Also a regular Donphan, which is, I think, pretty old at this point. Let's see. Yeah, this guy right here. Triumphant Light, yeah. So we got some Donphans. We shall see how good he is. He might be, depending on how things go, he might just be like a filler card. Also, keep in mind there is a Slugma. Yeah, I didn't get translation for this guy because, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. HP 80, requires 2 energies, 40 damage. So, interesting. Huge dub for, I guess, yeah, Slugma enjoyers. But yeah, here we go. So, next 2 Pokemon we have are twins. The legendary twins themselves. Basic Latias, HP 90, as you can see right here. And looking at this, okay, so it has an attack, Cross Flight, requires 1 energy. If you have a Latios on your bench, add 20 damage. So he does 40, which is pretty good, I guess, early game. This is nice. I mean, he is non-EX, keep that in mind, so that's pretty good. HP could be a little bit higher, but at the same time, I mean, it's pretty, I feel like this guy is pretty good towards the early game. Pretty much you want to play this guy first and then set up for the Latios, which, yeah, speaking of Latios, yeah, Latios, HP 110, basic, of course, yeah. Looking at this ability, Infinite Float. If you have a Latias on your field, remove all energy needed for this Pokemon to retreat. So this guy has a retreat value of 2. If you have Latias, free retreat. Very nice. 1 attack, Luster Purge. Requires 3 energy, 120 damage. However, afterwards, flash all the energy from this Pokemon. I'm pretty sure this says discard. This means discard, but interesting. So after attacking, after doing 120, this guy is basically just done. So yeah, the ideal setup, yeah, after attacking, you would retreat into either Latias or probably Giratina EX. I feel like you can very much pair Giratina EX with both legendaries. I feel like they have pretty good synergy overall, but interesting. Just keep in mind, currently in the meta, we don't really have any psychic supports. For psychics, you do have to kind of build them manually. With the exclusion of, I guess, Giratina, I mean, if you want, you can count this Giratina EX as a psychic support because he does generate passive energy and you can just don. But overall, I mean, psychic, I feel like when it comes to supports, like fire, lightning, and water, just goated. You're just getting energy. Whereas for psychic, fighting, and dark, types like that, they're not really built on getting energy. There's not really any energy supports, which I guess kind of makes sense. I mean, that really depends on how Dina wants to build the archetype. However, some cards do struggle. Like this, just looking at this, I was talking about this earlier with my friend, but Tyranitar, any Tyranitar, 4 energy. That takes so long to build up. It's very annoying. Granted, he does have an ability that kind of helps him out a little, but at the same time, still overall pretty hard to get out. All right, next card we have is Melodic, HP 120. And looking at the translations right here, Healing Excommunication. Interesting. So you can use this card once during your turn when you draw it from your hand and evolve it. Restore 60 HP to one of your Pokemon. So essentially kind of like a Lily, but as a Pokemon. So Lily, if you guys don't know, I mean, yeah, you probably already know, only works against stage 2s, whereas Melodic can work on any of your Pokemon, so that's pretty huge. This is, so you want to evolve. So this is very similar to Zeraora. So just looking at Zeraora right here, his ability only really gets value your first turn. So you have to get him out your first turn, and then when you end your turn, you get a free energy, and it only works that turn. Another good example, probably a better example, is this Jolteon. So if this Pokemon evolved during this turn, this attack does 60 more damage. Only works the turn that this card evolves. So with that being said, this guy can only heal any of your Pokemon the turn this card evolves. So I'm assuming once you evolve it, it's going to display like, do you want to use this effect? Yes or no. Very similar to Sylveon EX. And yeah, you can just use it. Very interesting. Can definitely win you the game. But depending on your hand, I feel like your opponent can definitely just like red card or Mars you, and it could really mess you up. Like this guy is pretty much just a support. I mean, Aqua Edge doing 60 damage, 2 energy. Like that could definitely help you out. But I feel like there are better cards that you could definitely use. Looking at this could potentially be another Gyarados support. Like, yeah, I can definitely see a Gyarados, Melodic, and Mantike deck, like this Pokemon that does this. Yeah, the baby Pokemon. I can definitely see a deck like that, and if you want, you could add a Suicune just to give you a little bit of RNG, getting the cards. But yeah, they're really trying to save water. This is good. I'm glad Dina is kind of listening. I don't know if a lot of people are kind of, maybe I'm just the only one that really wants water to be super meta. But yeah, this is pretty cool to see nevertheless. Melodic, again, how much HP? 120. So again, can be kind of a glass cannon, but again, non-EX, so it's pretty nice. And then the last card we're going to be going over is the Yato King. Yes, the Yato King himself. Stage 1 evolution, of course, and damn, it got cut off. HP 130, okay. Yeah, and this attack right here, throw away carelessly. Yeah, this is a pretty good summarization of the attack. So discard up to 2 Pokemon items from your hand and deal 50 damage to that item. Nice, yeah. I'm assuming it's like deal 50 damage depending on how many items you discard. This is pretty interesting. I feel like this should be a pretty big disclaimer, but For items, when it says 2 Pokemon items, that can very much mean Poketools. Yeah, you could probably say the same thing for this card as well. It could very much be talking about Poketools, but because of the translation, it's kind of rough. Looking at Reddit, again, I'm sorry for this video. If you're getting flashbanged all the time, I'm really sorry, but yeah, looking at the Reddit translations, I looked at it, most of mine are pretty much the same. Pulling up Slowking, it says Poketools. Alright, yeah, looking at the Reddit comments, yeah, it says Poketools, so we shall see. I mean, it's really not set in stone yet. I mean, these translations have been wrong before, but I feel like for most of it, it is kind of accurate, especially with the Pokemons, especially with most of the Pokemon cards. But for this, yeah, instead of Pokemon's items, it can very much mean Poketools. But for items, that could be pretty huge, again, because of the rare candies. But at the same time, I mean, Poketools, this is pretty good synergy with Slowking. If this does refer to Poketools, I feel like it will have pretty good synergy, because looking at the translations, I mean, yeah, Pokemon items, this says Poketools, so we shall see. Again, keep in mind the pack is coming out in 7 days from the time I'm uploading this video, so yeah, we shall see by then. Yeah, this card can be either super broken or pretty good, but like for a specific niche. And that is the Yadow King himself, the Slowking / Yadow King. But yeah, we shall see. And again, if new content does drop, I'll definitely be covering it on my channel. But yeah, it's pretty much all the cards that were leaked, quote unquote leaked, because again, I mean, unless Korea just like said fuck it, like I just want to just release it now. No one else really has released it just yet, so no other Pokemon accounts. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. We usually see this a lot, just like them leaking it. I kind of want to think that they do this on purpose just to generate hype, because I mean, it definitely does work out. Nothing really that harmful. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think of the cards in the comments below. Personally, I mean, some of them look okay, like the Latios and Latios. I'll definitely make a deck showcase, but they don't look that great in my opinion. Melodic could be pretty good. You can see some good value, especially we shall see when Mega Gyarados comes out. Still waiting for Gen 2 starters, but where the fuck are they at? If there are no Gen 2 starters next booster pack, I'm just gonna lose it. I'm just gonna be like, alright, I'm going on strike. Screw the Megas. I just want to see either Feraligatr, Meganium, or Typhlosion get their love. Even though Typhlosion got cancelled, hopefully Feraligatr won't. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on my next one. Peace.